coming through.
We've got a show to do here.
It's gonna be close.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Anime Casuals. I am Lucky, and as you saw from the intro, we're going to be talking about Toonami. So for people that don't know about Toonami, it used to be a program that ran on Cartoon Network originally. I guess now it's turned over to Adult Swim, and it used to run shows like Dragon Ball Z, all kinds of anime, Yu Yu Hakusho, Rurouni Kenshin, and as well as like other ones that weren't anime, like Batman the Animated Series, Justice League, like all that kind of stuff. And it was really my one-stop place for pretty much anything cartoons. But just like a lot of people, it was really my first ever experience with anime in general. Toonami ran till about 2008 on Cartoon Network, and then it switched over to Adult Swim. And if you don't know what Adult Swim is, it's actually kind of like a late night version of Cartoon Network where they show some of the more risque things like Samurai Champloo, those kinds of things. Actually, funny enough, I think Inuyasha was on that as well. I don't remember it being that bad, but you know, who knows. But before I get off topic, the main reason why I wanted to do this video was I was actually thinking about doing maybe a top 5 for Toonami, like a top 5 anime that I loved watching on Toonami as a kid. I might still do that. I still have all of the rendered footage and everything. I've captured it all, but I also wanted this to be a little bit more authentic because usually I have to write a script and then I have to do this, do that. And this one I really wanted to say thank you to Toonami for creating the man that I am today, which is a little bit more of an insult, I realize that, but you know, here we are with Anime Casuals, and you know, I'm not too sure if I would have gotten a whole lot of other opportunities. It wasn't like now where you have Funimation, VRV, you know, Hulu. Even I heard HBO Max is doing stuff now, or Netflix too. And you didn't have all these streaming services so that you could just watch anime whenever you wanted. You had to watch anime at a certain time, which I can't remember exactly when it started. I think it started somewhere around like 5 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. And one of the things that I was really thankful about it was just the variety of anime. See, it wasn't just Dragon Ball Z, Rurouni Kenshin, all these other ones, all these really action-packed ones. It was also some anime that you could relax to. I remember one of my favorite shows on there was actually Hamtaro, about this little hamster that just runs around, and the worst thing that ever happens that I remember is Oxnard loses his sunflower seed and they have to go find it. Like, that's kind of it. You don't really appreciate those until you see just so many world-ending events, right? You know, almost every anime at that time was just like, oh, the world's gonna end if you don't do this. Goku, if you don't stop this, the world's gonna end. Whereas Hamtaro kind of just brought everything down to like a 1 and kind of just let you relax there while you watched cute hamsters just dance. You know, it was amazing. And I really, really appreciate just the variety of anime that you could find on there. And even in its earliest days, which I actually don't remember this, they used to show like Voltron. I remember actually seeing commercials for it, but I was a little afraid of the series at that time. It was Dot Hack Sign, where, you know, you've pretty much one of the first, you know, getting trapped in video game world kind of animes that there were before like Sword Art Online. And, you know, it really did open up my eyes to just so many anime, right? You know, you guys see my intro video where I'm doing the burning finger, the burning finger, and you know, that's from G Gundam, or Mobile Fighter G Gundam, and that's where I originally saw it. I originally saw it on Toonami. That was my first ever intro to Gundam. I'd never seen a Gundam series before that. Yeah, it was just such a variety of anime that it really opened up my views. I mean, even watching Sailor Moon on there was crazy. You know, I joked about in one of my other earlier videos that, you know, I used to joke around with my friends like, oh yeah, Sailor Moon, that's for girls. And then, you know, I'd watch it all the time. Like, I didn't want to be the guy. I didn't want to be like the boy in first grade or second grade that watched Sailor Moon. You know, it just wasn't me. But I really loved the series. I really liked it, and it made me really open up my anime repertoire to the point where, you know, now I'm the romance guy. I'm the romance anime guy. I watch all the high school romance, the, you know, fantastical romance. I watch any of the romance ones, and, you know, I'm rewatching some now, and wow, they've held up really well. I was watching Rurouni Kenshin, and wow, that still sounds pretty good English dubbed. And that was one of the other things, was that it was all in English dubbed. And this is not to start civil war or anything like that. It was just, you know, for me, I was pretty young, so I don't know if I would have been as open to reading subtitles. Not saying there's anything wrong with that. I know there's a lot of kids now that are reading subtitles, and that's fine. But back then, I just don't think that would have been my thing. And granted, not all the voice acting was great. Like, I was capturing some stuff from like Tenchi Muyo.
Oh, you're not abandoning me, are you?
Hey, let me go!
But I gotta admit, it was really funny, you know? Like, just seeing, you know, hearing these, like, I don't want to call them bad, but just hilariously over the top and kind of like bad acting, but at the same time, it really gave you something to laugh at and gave you something to watch, right? And I guess the crux of this video is just more of a, it's more of a looking back at my anime past, because it's really easy to watch anime now and be like, oh my god, look at how good that looks, look at how good Black Clover looks, look at how good Fire Force looks, look at how good Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in Dungeon looks. But when you actually go back to some of these older anime that didn't really have the same polished style, I guess, you start to really appreciate the story elements a bit more, and sometimes you can even appreciate that old time style. I'm not saying it was bad by any means, it just had a certain look to it that was actually really charming for the time. You know, I still remember watching a lot of the fight scenes from, like, you know, Mobile Fighter G Gundam or Rurouni Kenshin, and really being like, wow, this is next level. Like, you don't see this on cartoons a whole lot. Like, I was watching Johnny Bravo. That never had anything like that. I was watching Dexter's Lab, I was watching all these ones on Cartoon Network. Really didn't have a whole lot of that stuff, so it was really refreshing to kind of see these really over-the-top anime battles that, you know, they could pull off because they were really familiar with that type of animation. And it makes me really thankful for, you know, Toonami starting me off into anime, into this anime world. Now, you know, sometimes it's a little bit of a gift and a curse, because, you know, I'm also doing like a mental health channel as well, and I start to see like the juxtaposition of, you know, here we're talking about some real serious mental health stuff, and then over here I'm capturing an anime about a hamster. Cool. But I think that's just such a really good juxtaposition to have, right? You know, sometimes we need those things to kind of fall back on, those things that really don't make us think a whole lot. And then there are anime that just make us think a whole lot more than we ever could. And, you know, just like with Yu Yu Hakusho, I mentioned it earlier, one of the things that really affected me was I think it was the first episode, Yusuke ends up actually dying. And that's how he kind of goes on to his journey of being a spirit detective. But, you know, he has this, like, one of the worst days ever. Everybody's just picking on him. You know, his mom doesn't care about him. You know, his girl that likes him doesn't, you know, is being super mean to him. His rival, Kuwabara, is just being super mean to him. Well, I mean, they always fight, but, you know, he's just like, you know, not the day, Kuwabara, not the day. And then, you know, he gets run over for helping a kid out of the street. And when Yusuke becomes a spirit, he ends up actually attending his funeral. And everybody that gave him a hard time that day were actually the most broken up about it. Just everybody was super, super remorseful about him dying, and that was really powerful as a kid. I wasn't around much death at that point, so to see that happen really put a lot of things in perspective. So to end off this video, I just want to say thank you to Toonami for thrusting me into this incredible world of imagination, of creativity, of random things happening like hamsters dancing and really bad voice acting. I want to thank Toonami for making anime casuals. Let me know what you guys thought. If you guys grew up during the Toonami era, what did you think? I hear it's also still going on, so if you're still watching it, let me know what you guys think of it now. As always, guys, don't forget to keep it casual.